Coming up, we take a look at how Tzu Chi volunteers worldwide celebrate the Lunar New Year. We learn more about the Taiwan Cherry Tree and how it differs from the Japanese cherry tree. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helena. Thank you for joining us. Here in Taiwan, the Jing Abode in Hualien is still buzzing with the height of the New Year. On the third day of the Chinese Lunar New Year, Tzu Chi volunteers organize various recycling activities at the Jing Abode for parents and children to enjoy, while also showing environmental concepts through lively activities.
Under the guidance of volunteers, moms and dads and their children have a go at making their own doll figures. Celebrating the New Year at the Abode is an event Mr. Tzu and his family never miss out on.
因为他们蛮喜欢玩这种陶土的活动啦，对就刚好就是说他们举办这种活动，就是让他们去体验一下。每年都会感受到，就是说很多师兄师姐在这边做义工之后，都觉得很用心。那每年所办的活动都不一样。
On the third day of the Chinese New Year, the Hualien Jing Abode is bustling with people and activity. Tzu Chi volunteers have also set up stalls inviting participants to make handcrafts with recycled items.
We usually just throw these flyers away without thinking about how to extend their life. We have many visitors here today, so we wanted to show them how unwanted items can still be reused.
Not only did the store attract the attention of children, they also taught them the importance of cherishing the world's resources through their own DIYs. The fun-filled event was for many, whether young and old, a rewarding experience.
To mark the Chinese Lunar New Year, Tzu Chi volunteers across the globe have organized various events. Like in Canada's Toronto, volunteers prepare traditional Chinese dances and songs to entertain senior residents at the local nursing home. While in Taiwan's Banqiao and Xingdian, volunteers organize events for newly certified Tzu Chi members to give them a better understanding of Tzu Chi's missions. But first, let's go to Hualien's Jing Abode to meet a Polish graduate student to learn how he was inspired by Tzu Chi's recycling campaign, as well as volunteer Guo Shucheng, who has found a peace of mind through Tzu Chi's teachings and decided to fulfill his filial duties before it is too late.
Having worked in Australia for years, Guo Shucheng and his wife decided to return to Taiwan to experience the rural life during the New Year's holidays. He said his participation in the Sutra Profound Gratitude to Parents has motivated him to fulfill his filial duty to his mother.
I immediately flew back to the United States to meet my mother. I kneeled and repented my mistakes in front of her. My mom is 96 years of age. I kneeled and said, "Mom, I'm home."
Having realized his responsibility to look after his mother, Guo closed his restaurant and has since found a peace of mind, with his relationship with his wife showing great improvement as well.
Before I was ill-tempered, while I got angry, our relationship went bad.
Peter Kocheski, a Polish graduate student, also joins the volunteers at Hualien's Jing Abode. He wants to learn how Tzu Chi carries out its environmental campaign, inspiring people across the globe to join its cause. After his personal involvement in practicing recycling, Peter Kocheski discovers Tzu Chi's key to success.
He says the key to a successful recycling campaign lies in each individual's willingness to help. Everyone should do his or her own part in recycling instead of relying on the government to carry out environmental policy.
Global warming, maybe it's too general, but teaches people how to start with small things, doing recycling every several days.
Making Chinese New Year cupcakes with volunteers, Peter Kocheski spent a special and memorable Lunar New Year here in Taiwan. In Xingdian, New Taipei City, Tzu Chi volunteers are ready to join a game that will teach them how to face challenges in dark times. Despite the obstacles in front of you, don't worry, because Tzu Chi's brothers and sisters are by your side to guide you through all the difficulties ahead. As part of the Lunar New Year celebration, Xingdian Tzu Chi volunteers organized this event at the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital for newly certified Tzu Chi members. This year, we have gone through numerous training seminars. This year, we also become certified volunteers, so we will follow in our brothers and sisters' footsteps in carrying out Tzu Chi's missions. Meanwhile, Tzu Chi volunteers also take the opportunity to thank senior recycling volunteers for their devotion over the past year. I'm 86 years of age now, and I have worked at the recycling station for 5 years. I'm happy and content for doing so. At the Tzu Chi Banqiao grounds, 81-year-old Wang Chen Shouden helps in several different areas regardless of her advanced age. The most important thing is to take on the responsibility and bravely face the challenges. Volunteers young and old all hold to a spirit of perseverance in the face of Tzu Chi's tasks. Volunteer Luo Shuling is one example. Though suffering from a bone marrow tumor, she has not given up fulfilling her Tzu Chi duties.
She is committed to becoming a certified Tzu Chi member and becoming Master Zheng Yan's disciple one day.
Although now I have a health problem, as long as I am capable, I will do as much as I can. At this gathering, Tzu Chi volunteers not only spread blessings, but also pass on their knowledge to new members. In Toronto, Canada, Tzu Chi volunteers perform a lion dance here at the local nursing home to entertain senior residents. Bathing in the music of old times, several seniors join the volunteers in dance, and a red envelope from the God of Wealth helps the seniors feel the joy of Lunar New Year. Thank you, Tzu Chi Foundation, for organizing such a wonderful New Year's gathering. The programs are excellent. The most important thing is that every senior is able to involve themselves in various activities. With the company of Tzu Chi's volunteers, the senior residents have found the new year to be one full of warmth and love.
In Taiwan, to welcome the Lunar New Year at the Tzu Chi Eastern District Liaison Office in Taipei, from the 1st until the 8th day of the Lunar New Year, Tzu Chi volunteers have been busy serving up tasty dishes in a festive atmosphere for members and the public to enjoy. Here's more.
Here in Taipei, on the 3rd day of the Lunar New Year, visitors to the Tzu Chi Eastern District Liaison Office ring a gong to welcome in the new year, donate their bamboo coin banks, and pick up red envelopes full of blessings.
We came
to ring in the new year. With me is my husband and his mother and our kid.
Not slowing down during the Lunar New Year holidays, Tzu Chi volunteers haven't been preparing dish after dish of delicious vegetarian cuisine for their guests.
From the 1st to the 8th day of the Chinese New Year, we hope that everyone can come visit us and join us in the festivities of the New Year.
Today we have prepared sticky rice cake and traditional noodle soup so that visitors can enjoy a warm New Year's meal.
For the first 8 days of the Lunar New Year, volunteers and residents of Taipei are coming together to welcome in the new year and pray for a year of peace ahead.
In Taiwan, to celebrate the Lunar New Year, various events are being held at the Fengyuan Hall in Taichung. During one of the events, Tzu Chi volunteer Wang Jing put on a puppet show to spread happiness and blessings to those in the audience. Meanwhile, many parents brought their children to donate their filled bamboo coin banks, hoping they will learn to count their blessings and help those in need. Beating drums and a line dance, this is the scene at the Fengyuan Hall. To celebrate the Lunar New Year in an eco-friendly manner, no firecrackers are used. Controlling the puppets is Tzu Chi volunteer Wang Jingfu, who uses the puppets to spread words of blessings to those in the audience. While attending the event, many parents and children donated their filled bamboo coin banks as they celebrated the holiday by counting their blessings and helping those in greater need. Spring is a season for flowers, and one of the earliest to bloom is the Taiwan cherry tree. With its vibrant petals amidst the bare branches, seeing the cherry blossoms is a signal that spring is near. In our next report, we bring you an in-depth look at the Taiwan cherry tree and how it differs from the Japanese cherry tree.
看着台湾的那个山樱花，你看山樱花是我们台湾种，那春天一到的时候，它就会先开花喽。
那花开就代表春天来了吗？
对啊。
When spring arrives, the Taiwan cherry blooms.
This is the Taiwan cherry. It blooms close to the Lunar New Year, around the end of January to beginning of February. The blooming period only lasts 20 days.
90-year-old Kang Yode is one of the earliest to study the Taiwan cherry. Kang also brought the first seedling from Chunyang tribal village in Nantou Wushe to National Taiwan University.
That's the first one. It's been here for about 20 years. When I was up in the mountains doing administrative work, I picked the prettiest one and brought a seedling down. Then I planted it in a shaded area.
Growing up with the Taiwan cherry since his student days, NTU's horticulture department professor Zhang Yusen is now one of the leading authorities on the tree.
One of the most distinct features of the Taiwan cherry is its color. It's the most pink of all the cherry blossom varieties. The color leans towards more of a purple pink and fuchsia.
The cherry tree blooms for only 1 month, yet the Taiwan cherry, unlike others of its kind, doesn't always bloom at the same time.
The Taiwan cherry is native to the wild, which means there will be differences in strain configuration. For example, if we transplanted the Taiwan cherry into an area, the span of its fluorescence might not be uniform.
Taoyuan District Agricultural Research and Extension Station researcher Wu Anna is trying to crossbreed the Taiwan cherry into a specific breed. We can only judge by its fluorescence period. If it blooms at the same time, then it should be the same strain. But it's quite difficult to determine with the Taiwan cherry because it's a wild species, not single strain variety. Compared to the Taiwan cherry, other non-native cherry trees bloom larger and are more vibrant in color and uniform in fluorescence, but remain found mostly in the mountains. Anna thinks the trend of transplanting cherry trees of high-altitude regions should be reconsidered. Often there's no consideration if the weather temperature is suitable for the tree. If the tree does not adapt well to the climate, it might not be able to live. The Taiwan cherry has been growing quite nicely at this amusement park and has received an official Japanese approval for cherry blossom viewing. However, with a sudden boom in cherry blossom planting in Taiwan, some people fear it will throw off the ecological balance of the environment.
To purposely remove native trees and plant cherry blossoms is not the right direction to go.
Compared to Japan, Taiwan's history of cherry blossom viewing is not as extensive. Consequently, citizens might only see the petals without truly appreciating the decades of history behind the flowers. However, it is through understanding the history of the Taiwan cherry that this season of flowers becomes more meaningful.
School is a temple of learning and is a student's hope for a brighter future. In the aftermath of Typhoon Haiyan, with many schools either destroyed or damaged in Leyte province, what international humanitarian organizations have been most concerned about is how to get these children back to school as soon as possible, not wanting the students' education to be delayed any further. Tzu Chi has installed temporary prefabricated classrooms at affected schools.
This is Santa Fe, 17 kilometers southwest of Tacloban City. Students of Batik Elementary School happily sing to a nursery rhyme because today an international NGO has come to build them a school.
We have already sent 5 classrooms to Ormoc City. We still have to install 75 here. The 75 classrooms will be allocated to around 17 schools.
Volunteers work speedily to assemble the prefabricated classrooms in hopes that children may return to school as soon as possible. But the unstable weather conditions have made the volunteers' work a race against time.
We have to overcome this climate. Sometimes it's hot, sometimes it rains. We just have to overcome it.
Outside of the cities, there is at least one school in every town. Yet as Haiyan tore through the central Philippines, more than 3,000 schools suffered damage in its wake. The Philippines government has been concerned about the placement of the affected students.
We should build schools, temporary classrooms where the schools have been destroyed to prevent also the students from coming in to the city.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Installing temporary classrooms is the most direct form of assistance, and assisting students in their return to learning also safeguards their dreams.
I'm very happy that all children now are coming back to school. Our classes for today is already formal. Thank you for Tzu Chi.
Do you like this classroom?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's beautiful and fresh.
Following Typhoon Haiyan, Chunga Central Elementary School was the first to receive Tzu Chi's assistance with the installation of 9 prefab classrooms. While other schools are still waiting to rebuild, classes here have already resumed.
We are accepting now transferring from other schools. In fact, this morning we have 2 coming from Tacloban City. They said that their classes there is not formal yet. So they are not having the regular classes by this time.
Maybe the sim is on the ground and the building is at the top.
So you couldn't go to that school anymore?
No way. It's unstable. It may collapse.
What happened to your previous school in Tacloban?
Broke.
Reminded of the disaster, Nahal almost burst into tears. To bring solace to their rattled hearts, teachers first lead students in prayer prior to the start of the lesson.
Our Father, who art in heaven.
Inside this bright and airy classroom, students draw out the home of their dreams.
I want this house because this is a beautiful house. I want antenna because I want to see TV. I want blue roof because this is my favorite color. I want my house beautiful and shiny. I want my house surrounded by flowers. This is my family, my mama, papa, and me. And I love to play with my pet cat.
Perhaps the trauma and pain still lingers on in hearts. However, safeguarded by the love of Tzu Chi, these emotional scars will soon heal.
Gun on! Gun on! Gun on! Gun on!
In the aftermath of Typhoon Haiyan, Philippines Tzu Chi volunteers quickly mobilized to conduct relief work in the cities of Ormoc and Tacloban in Leyte province. Touched by the volunteers' selfless dedication, Ormoc City's mayor and his wife made a trip to Taiwan to express their gratitude to Tzu Chi. Thanks to the trip, the mayor not only gained a better understanding of the Buddhist NGO, but also expressed his hope of turning Ormoc into a meatless city by year 2020. Last year, in the aftermath of Typhoon Haiyan, Philippines Tzu Chi volunteers traveled to Ormoc City to conduct relief work. To express their gratitude for their assistance, Ormoc City's mayor and his wife flew to Taiwan. On February 1st, they arrived at the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital in Xindian.
Tzu Chi Hospital doesn't feel like an ordinary hospital, but more like a hotel. It is very clean and doesn't smell.
Next, the guests traveled to the Tzu Chi Nehu grounds to understand how Tzu Chi's eco-friendly blankets are made. For their next stop, the groups arrived at the Tzu Chi Humanitarian Center, where the mayor gets some hands-on experience as a news anchor.
It was my first time anchoring. I am not used to talking directly to the camera. It was a very special experience.
Through the camera, Ormoc City Mayor's wife expresses her thanks to the Buddhist NGO.
I'm so excited, and this is an unforgettable experience which I had here experienced in Tzu Chi Haiyan. The goodness and the love that Master Jing has shared with us, we will not forget it.
The mayor said that he will follow Tzu Chi's prefabricated houses and homes to be built on his property. He's very kind-hearted. That's why we hope he can gain a better understanding of Tzu Chi.
Other than gaining a better understanding of Tzu Chi's formations, Ormoc City's mayor and his wife also visited an organic farm located inside the Tzu Chi Sansha grounds in New Taipei City.
We don't use pesticides around this area and no hormones are added. We use other plants to fight off unwanted insects.
After listening to a volunteer's explanation on the benefits of organic farming, the mayor expresses his interest in expanding the industry in Ormoc City.
以后他要请你们去欧莫克去教他们的市民怎么农业我们跟商人讲可以吗？可以，没有问题。Yes, is it okay?
I hope to have the opportunity to invite these volunteers to Ormoc City and exchange ideas on how to farm organically. I hope by 2020, everyone in Ormoc City can go vegetarian.
Although Typhoon Haiyan left many residents in Ormoc City without roofs over their heads, it has also created a good affinity between the Buddhist NGO and locals.
In the future, we hope to recruit more local bodhisattvas, not only in Ormoc, but also Tacloban City. With the help of Tzu Chi, we hope to transform Ormoc City into a place free of disasters.
We stay in Taiwan at the end of the show. Although many people are still celebrating Chinese New Year, medical staff at the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital are already back to work, ready to safeguard lives. Meanwhile, to express his thanks to these hardworking staff, the superintendent at the hospital, Zhao Youchen, offered them fruits that represent good fortune and words of encouragement. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.